Hello everyone, my name is Fei and I come from China. Today I want to talk about some female names from the Three Kingdom period. There are actually quite a few misunderstandings around these names, especially if you know them from games, TV shows, or novels. So in this video, I'm going to go through some famous examples and say what are these names really mean and what they don't. Let's start with probably the most famous one, DiaoChan. Most people know her name as Incredibly Beautiful Woman, and also for the story where she tricks Lu Bu into killing Dong Zhuo. It's a very dramatic and popular story, and I might make another video about it later. But here is the thing, DiaoChan is not her real name at all. It's neither a family name or a given name. In fact, there isn't actually a person clearly recorded as DiaoChan in historical texts. What we do have is a vague mention of a woman, often described as servant or attendant, connected to both Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo, but no name is given. So what DiaoChan actually means? The word itself is more likely come from decorations on ancient officers' hats. So instead of being a real name, it's more like a symbolic or artistic label. It gives a feeling of elegance, beauty, and connection to high status. So the character we know today is mostly shaped by storytelling, especially later novels. Now let's look at another example, 大乔 and 小乔. These two are also often introduced as famous beauties, and they were married to Sun Ce and Zhou Yu. But again, their names were a bit misleading. Their actual family name is Qiao. 大 and 小 just mean elders and younger. So 大乔is basically the older sister from the Qiao family, and 小乔is the younger one. So these are not really personal names either. They are more like labels to tell them apart. Sometimes people even call them 二乔, which just means the two Qiaos. This already tells us something important. Back then, personal names of the women were not the focus, and family identity was more important. Now let's move into a very typical case, 甄氏. She was the wife of Cao Pi, and later became empress of the Wei dynasty. This one is actually closer to how women were normally recorded in history. 氏 is a general word which means lady, so 甄氏 just means the lady from the Zhen family. It's a formal and standard way to refer to a woman. You will see this pattern a lot. For example, Cao Cao's wife is called 卞氏, and Lu Bu's wife is 干氏. Same idea, just Lady Gan and Lady Bian. So again, these are not full names, they don't include a personal given name. But then you might hear another name, 甄姬. This one is very popular in games and pop culture. Here, Ji is a more elegant and literal word for a noble lady. So, 甄姬 is a more polished, stylized version of her name. Some adaptations even call her 甄宓, where Fu is treated as a proper given name. And what about her real name? The honest answer is we don't know. Her personal name was never clearly recorded in a reliable historical sources. And this situation is actually very common. In many cases, women's given name were just simply not written down. What mattered more was which family they came from and who they married. Because of that, it's actually quite rare to find a woman from that period whose full name is known. One famous example is Cai Yan. You may not recognize this name, Cai Yan, right away, but you have probably heard of her other name, Cai Wenji. In her case, her family name, Cai, her given name, Yan, and even her courtesy name, Wenji, was recorded. and she was well known for her talent and her life story in history, so more detail about her were preserved. So when we look at all these examples together, DiaoChan, the Qiao sisters, Zhen Shi, you can see a clear pattern. A lot of the names we know today were either descriptive, simplified, or even created later for storytelling. Once you understand this, it's really changed how you see these characters. They are not just names from a game or novel, they also reflect how people in that time thought about their identity, family, and social status. Alright, that's for today's video. Hope you enjoy it and maybe learn something new. If you have any thought or questions, feel free to leave a comment below. See you next time.